Yeah. Read Ted Lieu's tweet.
Yeah, well, Ted Lieu made an excellent tweet yesterday.
Representative Ted Lieu.
Which I love. It says, "Now is a good time to remind people that there are no words in the U.S. Constitution that say the president can't be prosecuted for committing crimes, including obstruction of justice or perjury. A fundamental tenet of our democracy is that no one is above the law." Please note, send that on to the White House.
Exactly. Yeah, listen, I have heard people say this, and I don't want to get happy clappy, but they've said he's not going to be able to just resign. This is going to be too huge. I mean, just what we've learned so far.
Well, first off, let's put something on the table. Donald Trump will never resign this job. He will have to be, the Secret Service will have to come to the door and say, "Mr. President, I'm sorry, this is your last ride, your helicopter ride back to New York." But he's not, look, he's a malignant narcissistic personality disorders, what they believe. He will go down fighting. He will call this a conspiracy to the end. I'm sure we're going to get into the secret society discussion here.
Yeah, deep state. Oh, yeah.
Deep state, secret society trying to oust the president. Yeah. And he will, if he has to incite civil war, I think he would.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that as an American, okay? As you know, most of you know, I was a lifelong conservative.
Yep.
Until I started listening to what they were saying. It's like that in the military, by the way.
Yeah.
In case you wonder why they're all Republicans. Because they tell you you're a Republican.
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like Republicans with conscience right now, like Michael Steele or Steve Schmidt or people are.
Dave Frum.
Michael Steele is fantastic. He just went off. He was like, about evangelicals, saying that, Trump can get a mulligan on all, whatever, paying
Since
off.
when?
Raw dogging a porn star, just.
Say.
While his wife's president.
Let me tell you.
Pregnant. Not president, pregnant. And then, you just go, he said, "Don't preach to me ever again." That's what Michael Steele said, on TV. He's like, just shut up now.
There are some very principled, true conservatives. And Jennifer Rubin, who I met at who I met in the green room in D.C. And the first time I met her, I remembered all the things she had said about Obama.
Right.
And then she went on, a rant on television. When she came back to the green room, I said, "Hi, my name's Malcolm Nance, and I see you obviously have a core that you believe in." And she goes, "And it has been crossed."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, clearly, people of principle.
Yeah, Nicole Wallace.
Nicole Wallace is wonderful.
Yep.
She is a wonderful, very warm person.
Yeah.
And she just cannot understand what's going on.
Yeah, here's Steve Schmidt, in fact.
Another one.
This conspiracy, it's abetted by members of the Republican majority in the Congress, and it's abetted by a television network that's increasingly come to resemble state-run TV in an autocratic society.
Steve Schmidt.
I'm just hoping you're right that it's going to be like, what's that show? America's Most Wanted. Well, he'll just be stepping on Schlitz cans trying to get over the back White House fence. His pants coming down.
No. But, it's fun to have all that impeachment porn, but it's going to be a lot more mundane than you think. But, again, this is a person who will not resign this office. And until he
that'll make it
loses
more fun.
that 30% hard base.
Yeah.
And I think he'll go through the trial.
Oh, my God.
But like I said, by the end of March, the first spitball that's going at his head is, beanball is going to be obstruction of justice.
Do you get to tweet from prison?
I'm pretty sure you don't. But there are a lot of people who will have to prove that point.
Yeah.
I think I think that it will have less indictments than Watergate because more people will flip immediately.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Like we said yesterday, Steve Bannon's not flipping.
Yeah, one more.
Or he did flip, yeah.
Well, one more Steve Schmidt. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is a smear campaign directed at these two FBI agents, absent any evidence. It is latter-day McCarthyism, and it is entirely about what it seems to be about, which is trying to blow smoke around this investigation to obstruct the American people from finding out what went on here at all costs.
Wow.
Patriotism at work. I love that guy.
Yep. Let's go to, oddly, people have questions for Malcolm. Jesse in Chicago.
Hey, good morning.
Hi,
good
Jesse.
morning, guys.
Hi.
How is you?
Oh, I am great, and I am thrilled to talk to you, Malcolm. This goes along with what you guys were just talking about. So say that the people around him, somebody with half a brain, tells him that he can't talk to Mueller and that he shouldn't talk to Mueller. If he decides to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court, what do you think the outcome of this is going to be, and what's that scenario look like?
Yeah, can he avoid a subpoena?
No.
No.
No. But they already screwed that up with Bill Clinton.
Right.
So they've made it clear that
Thank
the president
God, 'cause
of the
that
United
BJ
States is not above the law.
Important.
He can be. I just heard that. He can be sued. He can be subpoenaed, and the president obviously can be brought into interview to a special counsel.
Yeah.
The special counsel is the representation of American justice.
Yeah.
Because the attorney general and the deputy attorney general, attorney general's recused, the deputy attorney general appointed him. He is now the spear tip of American justice.
Yep.
And so you cannot lie to him. You cannot come in there and claim executive privilege.
Jesse, in Chicago, say it with me. The reason we're going to get Trump is because they had to get Bill Clinton for that BJ. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Well, but I'm worried about this obviously partisan Supreme Court and what they'll do.
Well, no, it's a pretty cut and dried case, and all they can do is rule whether the president is above the law or not. And if they say the president doesn't have to respond to a subpoena, president doesn't have to answer questions, which is the question, he's going to try that. He's going to try to say every word out of my mouth is executive privilege just by dint of the fact that I spoke it. Mm-hmm. Well, the precedent has been set with Bill Clinton. You just can't up and say that, you're above everything.
So he can ask. If they say no, then he can subpoena him, and then he has to. Correct, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because
somebody get a lawyer on the phone.
Because Roger Stone, who knows him better than anybody, is like, do not talk to Mueller because he knows. First of all, he knows he's going to lie. He can't help himself. Right?
I met Roger Stone. He's a snake.
Oh, right. How about that? What does that snap-on Hasbro hair look like in person? Does that look?
Well,
real?
It looks like it looks like a bleached ferret. but let me tell you something. There are people you can look at and you just know by dint of reputation that for all their glad handing and smiles and little tan suits, which he seems to love, that guy is a danger to democracy.
Yeah.
He's going to feature very highly in my
Remember
book.
when tan suits were illegal, when Obama was in
office?
office?
Oh, that's right, because, I have a tan suit. I've always wanted one since the day that Obama wore it.
I bet you look snappy.
I look very sharp. I'm a natty dresser.
Jeff in Fort Dodge, you're on with Malcolm.
Hi, Mama. Malcolm?
Yeah.
My question is that the conservative media has virtually taken over the country so strongly, I guess, as Trump would say. They've actually, here, I'm from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and they've moved the Mason-Dixon line to the Canadian border. They are selling this conspiracy theory things, and it's everywhere you go around here. That's all these people here is Fox News and all the little newspapers and AM radio stations are selling this. What's going to happen to our country when Mueller does find something? Is this nation going to go into a civil war?
That's what Malcolm was just saying. Yeah.
Look,
yeah, these people, we've got Grassley, Ernst, Steve King, my congressman. These people are not going to go against Donald Trump. There is absolutely
Jeff, and they do it on every issue. They just did it on this shutdown. It's like, they Democrats only care about those little illegal brown kids instead of your kids. Look at Charlottesville. I feel like he's already been trying to foment civil war.
Yeah, I feel sorry. And you're out in Fort Dodge. You're like almost at the geographic center of the United States. And you're literally at the geographic center of Iowa. So it must be very interesting for you out there. I'm afraid to say it, that there is a channel in the news media that works on the exact same premise as the Soviet Pravda. They are state-run television, as Steve Schmidt said.
Yep.
I was a guest analyst on Fox News for 2 years under Tony Snow, who was a journalist before he became White House press secretary, and a very fair guy. And no one ever asked me what my voting record was at that time. They just assumed because I was military, I was a Republican.
Right.
And at that time, I'd become a Democrat. Right. But the question you have to ask, and I ask this of everyone who's listening, is, where does your heart lie? Are you a patriot? A patriot does not stand for an individual. This whole nation separated from George III on the premise that we as a collective body we're going to stand for democracy and freedom and our Constitution first. I highly recommend everyone who's listening today, go get the soundtrack to Hamilton.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it. And listen to all of that, even if you don't like rap. Listen to the entire thing. It is a beautiful representation of how this nation was formed and what the precepts of our forming were. And then you will understand what is at stake.
Yep.
I wrote Plot to Destroy Democracy to show that we are under attack.
Yep.
And that
America, meaning America,
is under attack. And that attack is sustained.
Right.
And we have a president of the United States who is actually participating in that attack. We have a Congress that has abdicated their authority as a separate and equal branch of government.
Yeah, I was having this discussion with one of my very far left friends that talking about when I said we, he goes, "Oh, who do you mean? Hillary people, Bernie people, Democrats, Republicans." I was like, America, we America have been attacked. Like what? I think you're right because we've gotten so partisan. It's like that. That's
My problem is that 1/3 of this nation has decided that they will follow a man. Washington himself warned about American tyrants. The founding fathers talked about a president who would become monarch-like.
Right.
And that the three separate but co-equal branches of government would be the guardrails. But now we have the second branch of government. We have the Congress has decided to become the lapdog of a man,
right?
Not to the Constitution. I stand for the Constitution. I don't know about you guys.
And you didn't have a Fox News when Nixon was around, as people have said that.
Somebody
said Nixon might have survived if Fox News was
Roger
around.
Ailes said he would create Fox News. All right, he told Nixon that we need our own media, and from it sprung Fox News, and now it has become like a communist propaganda channel.
How chilling are these headlines? In fact, because Media Matters does a good job, rounding up. Obviously there's clips and all that. Sean Hannity, people at the highest level in the DOJ and the FBI must be investigated, must be indicted, and probably many of them thrown in jail. Lou Dobbs calls for U.S. Marshals to take top people in the Justice Department and FBI into custody. Lou Dobbs, it may be time to declare war outright against the deep state. Rush Limbaugh, the deep state may have faked Saddam WMD evidence to damage George W. Bush. Sean Hannity accuses the deep state of an attempted coup, says this makes Watergate looks like stealing a Snickers.
Okay, I didn't see that. I saw that Lou Dobbs video last night, but I didn't watch it. And it pays for all of you to keep track of the information that's going on. That statement is dangerous.
Yeah.
I've dedicated my entire life to defending this nation.
Yeah.
And what we have is for someone to call for the U.S. Marshals or the Secret Service. They're literally trying to split law enforcement to consider the FBI as a subversive element within the government and trying to stoke rebellion. Those words are sedition.
Well, and Malcolm,
look it up in the dictionary.
What you just said about Civil War, the guy that just tried to go shoot up CNN in Atlanta said, "You're fake news. You're fake news."
Glenn Beck, when he was on his rants on CNN, when he said that very early on in the Obama administration, the DEA, the BATF, they're coming to take your guns. Well, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a man heard that, got all of his guns, did a hostage barricade with his mother in his house, and then he wanted the SWAT team to come. He killed the first 3 officers that stepped through the door. Right? This is going to increase. This is destabilizing the fabric of the nation. All right? And that's what I fight for. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what party you're from.
Right.
You must stand for America first. And these are the same people, by the way,
who
go, freedom, all the time. And it's like, don't I get some of that? Nope.
Yep.